morning, everybody. Today we are here in beautiful Orange, California, and we're here with Nicola Angiuli from Francoli Wines, and he is going to talk to us today about his fantastic wines from Piemonte,
yes,
Italy, and we're using his restaurant here called Francoli Gourmet, and we're excited to have some fantastic wine, some amazing food, and then we're going to talk about his terrific Rolex collection. He's got some great watches. He's a big Rolex fan, so I'm excited to hear a little bit more about that as well.
Sure. So the restaurant there, as Paul mentioned, it's called Francoli Gourmet, and the owner, his name is Alberto, which is my partner, brother-in-law. He's from a town in northern Piedmont called Gattinara, and we're actually going to drink and taste and talk about Gattinara wines.
Got it.
And besides that, the watches as well.
Great. How long has your family been making wine, Nicola?
Well, my family is since 1950s.
1950s. Yes. Wow. Well, I can't wait to dig in and open up a couple of bottles.
Sounds good.
Great. Okay, Nicola, tell us a little bit about what kind of wine we're going to have here today, because I'm excited to break it open and dig in.
I decided to pick a wine that is not very common here in the United States. It's a grape called Sussumagnello, which in dialect means donkey. Because you look at the vine and it looks like a donkey.
Seriously?
It's kind of short, very stocky, very strong vine.
Okay.
And he produces this incredible wine that is not very common here in the United States. This might only be about second or third producer that they produce a Sussumagnello.
Well, I love the bottle and I love the label. It looks great. It's fantastic. What is the 16 for here?
16 is the vintage. So this is a 2016. So Sussumagnello is a type of wine you want to drink within a few years, within 5 years, where Gattinara, which is produced by a grape called Nebbiolo, this is a 2011. This is a type of wine you want to age for even 50 years. This is a great vintage. This wine was actually rated one of the top 300 wines from Italy, according to Gambero Rosso.
Really?
So they gave this wine one of the highest award, which is the 3 cups.
And we're going to drink both of these
today. And we're going
today.
to definitely drink both of them.
So 2011.
2011.
Got it.
Great
Excellent.
vintage.
So both of these wines were brought in by your company,
Francoli USA, which we are based right here in Orange County.
Terrific.
And I'm going to pour some wine for both of us.
Okay, and so Nicola, tell us a little bit about the wine, and first of all, tell us about Francoli USA.
So Francoli USA was started between Alessandro Francoli and myself. We actually had dinner together. We didn't know each other, and over dinner.
How long ago was this?
This was in 1998.
Okay.
And over dinner, I was running a company in New York actually, and over dinner, he said to me, "Why don't we start our own company?" And this is how we started.
Well, good for
taking
you.
a little paper napkin.
That's
we started
the way it starts. There you go.
Taking some notes, and it's funny because I knew of him. He didn't know much of me, and we decided to put together a company. So we incorporated in 1999.
Got it. And tell us all again where Francoli comes from, the name.
So the name Francoli, it's a name. It's my partner's name. They own a distillery called Francoli Distillery. It is one of the few left family-owned distillery in Italy, because a lot of distilleries are purchased by much larger companies, where Francoli is still owned by 4
that's
cousins.
Great. So it's still a small little family-owned?
Small little family. They own also a winery called Torraccia del Piantavigna, which we're going to be trying his wines.
Great, terrific. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what we're going to. What do you suggest we drink first?
I would start with the Sussumagnello first, because it's a younger wine.
Okay.
And Sussumagnello, you can see
here.
the color on the Sussumagnello. It's much darker than the color on the Gattinara.
It is, yes.
So Sussumagnello is, as I mentioned before, is a wine. It's a grape that comes from the name donkey, and it produces a very, very limited quantities, because it is a very hard vine to grow, low production, so it's not very profitable. So very few producers produce this certain grape. And it only produced in the southern part of Puglia, right in the tip of the Adriatic Sea. So the wine that
Puglia.
Got
so
it. We are going the hill of the boot, This is the heel of the boot. So Italy is the boot,
We're
the
talking
heel
about
of the boot.
boots and donkeys. Okay,
Yes,
got it. Boots and donkeys, a little bit of wine.
Okay. On the nose, the wine is, on the nose is very floral, violets, roses, rose petals, red cherry, almost a red raspberry,
Yep,
right on the
I can
nose.
smell it.
On the mouthfeel is very, very elegant, long finish, perfect wine to be drank by itself, and also the perfect wine to complement food.
Got it. Okay, great. And can you find this? Salute. Let's dig in and try.
Wow.
Terrific. Love it.
Long finish on the palate. It's like an atomic bomb just exploding
Yeah,
in
it
your
explodes.
palate.
I love it. I love it. It finishes very, very nicely as well. So tell me, can people find this locally here, or where can you find it?
So this place, Francoli Gourmet, does sell both of these wines. These wines are not mass produced, so you're not going to find them in, let's say, your Ralph or your Vons or Trader Joe.
Right.
They're very limited production. So it really focuses on restaurant, and we do a lot of seminars.
So liquor stores probably wouldn't carry it.
Very few liquor stores will carry these.
So Nicola, tell us now about the second wine here called Torraccia.
Torraccia del Piantavigne. So the second one is a Gattinara. Gattinara is a town in northern Piedmont.
Yeah.
Very, very small town. And the name of the vine that they use to produce Gattinara, it's called Nebbiolo, which comes from the word nebbia. Nebbia in Italian means fog. And it
means what again?
Fog.
Okay,
nebbia,
fog.
Nebbiolo. They call it Nebbiolo because this Nebbiolo seems to attract fog, or at least with the areas where they grow, there's always early morning fog surrounding this
no
grape.
donkeys though, just fog.
No donkeys, just fog.
Okay.
Okay. So the color on Nebbiolo tends to be a lighter color.
A little bit lighter, I noticed.
So as I mentioned before, this is a type of wine that will age extremely well.
Got it.
As it ages, it gets better and better.
Got it. Just like us.
It's unbelievable.
Just like watches too.
And just like a Rolex. That's
Exactly.
right. As it ages.
Yes.
That's right. So there is a nickname on this wine that it's called the Queen of the Italian wine.
Queen.
The Queen. And the king is Barolo. The Queen is Gattinara.
Gattina.
And also this was one of... have you heard of Napoleon Bonaparte?
Of course.
And he loved Gattinara. Actually, he used to leave France and go to Gattinara. And he used to bring Gattinara to his castle in France.
So with your Italian quick dialect, it's a little bit hard to pick up the name, but it's Gattinaro.
Gattinara.
Gattinaro. Okay, got it. It's lovely. I love it.
Salute.
Terrific. Salute. So Nicola, I love talking about wine. More importantly, I love drinking the wine, of course, and eating it with, drinking it with food, some great food. But let's talk a little bit about your watch now. I notice you've got a Rolex Submariner, and I'd like to hear all about it.
My father was a big 007 fan. So back in 1960s, he would take me to go see the latest 007 because he was a big fan of it. And of course, Sean had wore a Submariner.
Sean Connery?
Sean Connery wore a Submariner. And that was my first experience with Rolexes. I love these watches, I love these cars. This is like the coolest person in the world.
Yeah.
You know, I was kind of 6 years old, and I still remember I wanted to be like him. I wanted to, and as I getting a little bit older, of course, I couldn't afford a watch. My first watch was, which I still own, was a Seiko Diver, and I still own it. It's a great, great watch, and I want to give it up for it. I was about 20 years old. I bought my first watch.
Got it.
Yep. And then from there, I always wanted to buy a Rolex.
Can I see it?
Sure.
Now, what model? Do you know what model number
this is the 16610, and it goes back to 1998. Actually, I purchased this wine in 2001, the early part of 2001.
Yeah.
It was the first year we launched the company. The company was launched in the year 2000, and the first year we made money. So I said, wow, this is a great company, and I'm going to give myself a Christmas gift.
That's a fantastic story. I love hearing these stories because oftentimes we hear people buy a Rolex because they want to commemorate an occasion. They graduated from law school or graduated from college, or they launched a brand new company.
Yes.
So this is a great story. I love to hear that. And there's no better way to commemorate something great that's happened in your life, maybe a wedding, than buying a Rolex watch,
Sure,
because now when you wear this watch, it means something to you. Am I right?
Yes,
Okay.
very much so.
So-
And so I basically, it was 2001, it was around January, and I gave myself a Christmas gift based on the success of Francoli USA. So for the first 12 years, this became everything watch. I used to paint my house, work on the cars, do gardening, you know, take care of the pool, going to the ocean, everything was my everything watch. I used to use it as a chronographer because of the bezel.
Sure.
So I love to cook because I'm Italian, and pasta needs to cook in 7 minutes. I used to turn my bezel, and when the 7 minutes clicked in, I knew I had to take the pasta out.
It's a tool watch.
It's a tool.
It's a cooking tool watch.
Cooking tool
All
watch.
right, I love it.
Because I'm in the wine business and I work the market with salespeople or associate, and being in New York, when you go to New York, you know, you have to put the meter because there is somebody ready to give you a ticket.
Yes.
So that became my clock. I used to count the time right on the watch. Or
So
let's say I go into a meeting and I used to say, well, it's going to take 30 minutes. And I used to adjust the bezel, and a quick look, it would tell me how much more time do I have.
Terrific. Love the stories. So you bought the watch because of James Bond.
Yes.
And you know, Sean Connery, and it was a cool watch. And now it's become kind of a tool watch for you.
Yes.
You can cook with it, golf with it. For me, people always ask me, I've got several watches that I wear, you know, day in and day out. But for me, my watch, it's the first thing I put on in the morning, and it's the last thing I do at night. Take it off and put it on my nightstand. How about you? So do you wear this?
Definitely.
Do you sleep with it?
Well, I don't sleep with it because then my wife will throw me out of bed. Okay. So, but
same
I
thing
wear
with you,
the same thing, the morning till the night.
Yeah.
And the watch becomes part of you. And that's actually, it does become part of you, because remember, we are the movement of our body, the way we talk to our hands or walking, it kind of charges the watch. So this charge, it reverses itself and it goes into a mechanical movement which keeps the time going. So it's fascinating when you really think about a watch. It's not just telling the time, it's almost a relationship with time.
Yeah.
And when you
it's a relationship to you as well, because it means something more to you.
Yes.
If you want to know what time it is, you can look at a clock or you can look at your phone. But this watch, putting this thing on your wrist, means something to you, right? A lot more.
Sure. And it also keeps remembrance of the success of the first year in the company.
Yes.
All the times I've been gardening.
Yes.
You know, painting my whole house with a Rolex or Submariner on my wrist. I mean, it was a fun watch.
So is it safe to say this will always be in your possession?
Sure.
Forever. Yes.
And this
good
will
for
be
you.
hand down.
It's a fantastic watch. Okay, so Nicola, tell us now how you came to acquire the watch. Where did you actually buy it? Did you buy it here locally?
Yeah. It was a local jewelry store. Unfortunately, it's no longer there. And he had a display of these beautiful watches, you know, Rolex, of course. And I was wearing a Girard-Perregaux chronograph. So I went in there. It was the 2001. The company was doing great, and I went in there and I said, would you mind trading this Girard-Perregaux for the Submariner?
Got it.
And that's exactly what I did. I traded in my Girard-Perregaux.
Got it.
It was the best investment I ever did. Because
just for chuckles, tell us again what happened when you went to buy the watch, and 5 years later, you bring the watch in to
so
just
5
make
years
sure.
Later,
tell us about that story.
I took it to Beverly Hill Service Center. There is a Rolex Service Center. Beautiful place. You walk in there, and the young lady said to me, can I help you? And she said, well, I want to see if my Rolex watch, which I owned for about 5 years, needs service, because they told me that it needs service every 5 years or so. She goes, no problem. Let me have it. So I ended the watch.
This is 5 years, though, after you bought.
I purchased the watch. So it was like 2001, 2006.
Got it.
Around there.
Okay. Yep.
So I ended the watch. And accidentally, she dropped it. It was a big noise. I said, "What? There goes the crystal, the crown." You know, I said to myself, "Wow, you know, I really didn't want that, because I don't believe in polishing the watch. I wanted to keep the watch intact." And she picked it up. She says, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I'm terribly sorry." But she goes, "Let's see if there was any internal damage done and everything." I said, no problem. She takes it in the back, and I wait about 5-10 minutes. She comes back. Oh, she goes, your watch is perfectly running perfect. It's within 1 second a day.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need service. The oils are still great.
Still telling good time?
Great time. And she says, I'll see you in 5 years. And then I said, 5 years. I said, that's 10 years.
Nothing broke. The crystal didn't break. It was durable. Great. So
not only that, but not even nothing broke, but nothing scratched, because the metal that it's used on Submariner, it's not your average stainless steel that they use.
So 2001 you buy it, take it in 2006, it's now 2019.
Yes.
Has it ever been serviced?
Yes.
Okay.
A couple of times it's been serviced.
But never polished?
Never polished.
Okay, so what I tell everybody, this is a special watch for you. It's going to be in your possession, collection forever. Don't polish it. Keep it. It's original from the factory that way. Go ahead and service it, clean it, even replace the crystal if need be. But keep it original.
Yes.
Yeah. And keep it original and don't polish it.
Yeah.
It's a great watch.